Trump weighs in on drones. Boo, drones, you're supposed to be scared. Trump gives, it's not a definitive what they are, but he promises that he will tell you what they are. We're going to see him actually make the order on video. Welcome to the Doug TenNapel channel. I try to give you guys kind of bigger news to help expand this topic. We're going to talk a lot about drones. They are the future. They're here to stay. You might even end up benefiting from them. I'll show you how. First, we're going to get to this video, which triggered this whole discussion, when Peter Doocy, while Trump was signing his executive orders, Trump answered more questions in a 4-hour period than Biden did in all 4 years.
But is it anything that these drones? Is it anything that people need to be worried
No, I think it's terrible. I would like to find out what it is and tell the people.
And can you commit to some kind of...
In fact, I'd like to do that. Could we find out what that was, Susie? Okay? Yeah, why don't we find out immediately? I mean, I can't imagine it's an enemy or there would have been, people would have gotten blown up all over. Maybe they were testing things. I don't know why they wouldn't have said what it was. They had a lot of them flying over Bedminster, which is interesting. Right?
And with the events today...
Kind of clarify, because some of the sound is really bad on that. Peter Doocy asks Trump, what's the deal with the drones? And Trump says, we're going to find out. So he doesn't know, but he's smiling. He's not worried, even if they are from China, which he believes they're from, and I believe they're from. They're not. He said if they were a threat, they would have attacked us by now because they had so much access to us. Then he asked Susie Wiles, that's his chief of staff, right off camera, saying, let's get the information on it and let's put it out now. So it's going to come, I believe, in the next couple of days. And that just shows how his administration is going to be transparent, because I think what you don't know is more scary. Think of all the stories that projected out of this, like the bad news. This is the worst news that Trump could say about it, right? He could say they're ours and we're keeping secrets from the people. That's a bad story. That is, telling us wouldn't be as bad as what we already projected. Number two, they're Chinese or Russian or Iranian, and they're all around our military bases. We've already speculated that. So then just hearing a confirmation that doesn't increase fear, it decreases fear that at least your government is telling you the truth. And if they're UAPs or UFOs, which is ridiculous, interdimensional beings or whatever, again, that has already been speculated. What your mind fills in from a lack of knowledge is always going to be scarier than the reality of what they tell you. Confirmed. So no fear. And now this is Trump's original statement from a while ago at Mar-a-Lago on drones. This is just a refresher.
Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey ports? It seems like the American people have a big disconnect.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people, and they should, because the people are really, they happen to be over Bedminster. Want to know the truth.
So Trump's not worried. They happen to be over Bedminster. He's going to release this information. It doesn't seem like a big threat, but the main thing is there's a new boss in charge who's going to tell us. Now for some more intel on those drones. So first I have this graphic, but over this is columns. You can look over here on, let's see here, this column over here. It says technology origin on the left. These are all the components that make up a drone. And this is the bigger threat right now with drones. And in the middle is the actual drone component. And then on the right is the country of manufacture. So just look at this big red area. This is all China for the manufacturing of drones. Here's the little tiny USA segments, which are only components, and then Europe segments over here in this tiny green area of components made for drones. Now, here's the origin of technology. A majority of it, USA. We invented most of it. That is the lithium polymer batteries, the power distribution board, the brushless DC motors, the propellers, the GNS module, the IMU module. The camera, of course, is Japan. We didn't have any help, much help in that. So Japan also has contributed to all these elements. Here's Europe's contribution to actually the inventions. And then here's Russia's contribution. And then here's the UK's contribution down here. None of the innovation or inventing on drones was done in China. China is only used for manufacturing. And this is a symbol of where they're kicking the butts on everybody. It's the same with the combustion engine. I mean, vehicles, they don't invent anything because communism does not produce good ideas. China is going to beat everyone on manufacturing because they see their people as ants. This is ideological with how they run their country. They treat their citizens like ants. They have no freedom. They're a giant hive. They will always be able to out-manufacture the West because they can charge their ants slave wages. They treat them like slaves. So they'll always be able to undercut what a free society pays its people to manufacture. But the problem with that is, because they do not allow free speech, they do not allow freedom and innovation and the things that flourish under that, their people will never invent anything. They can't invent, they can only steal. They can only repurpose, and then they can only manufacture what all of the West's minds, the countries on the left there, what all of the West actually invents and innovates. But this is a major problem because right now, we don't have the manufacturing. That is, we have to ask China permission, a slave state, to make our products for us. This is something Marco Rubio talked about, that China will control the future because they'll be able to constrain what we can manufacture. We have to ask their permission. They can hold us hostage. Literally, look at all the different components on these drones that are made by China. That is, China can copy and manufacture drones. And I'm going to show you in a minute why the entire future of military conquest and wars, and I believe even business innovation, home security, deliveries, is going to be reliant on drone technology. There's whole components here that China could freeze us out of, and we could not make a single drone. And so we have some catching up to do. Even if we're going to choose to start manufacturing drones here, we have to be able to make all of these components, bring them inside, open up the manufacturing, and then you have to remove all of the limitations to American manufacturing, environmental problems, union problems, pay problems, and a work ethic of the American people problem. So next up, I have this article from the Wall Street Journal on that Chinese problem. Drone makers looking to steer clear of China, fearing Beijing's wrath. U.S. companies see risks in working with Taiwan as it tries to build a democratic supply chain. This is true. They're trying to help us build electric cars and drones, and Taiwan is free and democratic, and China believes that Taiwan is theirs. They failed to take it during the Biden administration. China dominates the global market for the small, inexpensive drones that have transformed the world's battlefields, and Beijing hasn't been shy about keeping the industry under its thumb. This goes into why we can't even conduct our military if we don't take advantage to rebuild American manufacturing or find free allies in the West. Maybe not Taiwan because China's going to shut that down, but it could be India, could be in the US, could even be Canada. We have to find a Western solution to our manufacturing problems that does not rely on China. Drones are too important for warfare, so that now you have to consult with China about how big your army of drones are going to be. I just want to show you this graphic, which is AI, but it shows a simulation of just armies of drones going out. These could be delivery vehicles, or this could be an army. Imagine 10,000 drones attacking a battleship. Our battleships are done. And each of these drones, they may have a person with a headset on steering it, but it doesn't require risking any human capital, which is the most valuable thing that you can lose on a battlefield is a human being, compared to losing a $700 drone. A $700 drone allows you to have an army, a lethal army. They can carry guns on them. They can carry C4. They can carry laser weapons. They can carry disruptors. They could carry poison. They could spray mustard gas. They could do all kinds of stuff with no human cost. 10,000 of them going on a battlefield. That ends human beings in armies. You don't need to ever put a soldier at risk. You just put a little drone at risk. And that's why in the future, it's going to be one army of drones against another army of drones. And the one with the best technology, say, of jamming the opponent drone signals, disarraying them, sending out an EMP, electromagnetic pulse that fries their batteries, all of that, or things that can blow up MIRVs like mass junk projectiles that it sprays out, maybe even string and nets that tangle in their wings, will win the future battles. So look, this one is recent, just a couple hours ago, this morning. The Kiev Independent. So this is from Kyiv, Moscow. Ukrainian drones reportedly attack a Russian aviation plant in Smolensk. The drones that the UK are using, they're practically consumer grade. They bought up thousands, hundreds and thousands of drones. They've been conducting this war, and they repurpose a few parts, but most of the parts still work, and they probably just replace a chip or replace one component, and suddenly it's military grade. And they just send it in. I've seen them dropping just like really chunky low-tech bombs. Footage that purports to show Smolensk aviation plant in Smolensk, Oblast, Russia, burning after Ukrainian drone attack overnight happened. So the Ukrainian drone attack targeted Smolensk aviation plant in Western Russia overnight on January 21st, starting a fire at the facility, the independent news channel Astra reported. Russian authorities confirmed a drone attack in Smolensk, Oblast, but made no mention of the plant. According to Russia's defense ministry, Russian air defenses intercepted 55 drones overnight, including 10 in Smolensk Oblast. Quote, fallen drone debris caused fires on the grounds and the roofs, they said. What a communist. They have full control of their media, so it's all propaganda. Windows of residential buildings were also damaged. Governor Vasily Anohikin said on Telegram channel, the governor also warned against alleged fake information and videos appearing on social media regarding the drone strike. That's how Russia reports on all their news. It's not reliable at all. Point being, you can send out 55 drones a night with different targets, and many of them can't be defended. And that's how this whole war is being conducted right now, which goes back to China and Trump exposing what these things are doing. Now, this little guy, here's a gator. This is how an alligator handles a drone. That's a drone flying over an alligator in the water. Watch this. Oh, boom. That's how you do it. So I propose we build moats around all of American facilities, and we just fill them with alligators. Boom. The perfect defense against drones. Now, if we could engineer flying alligators, that'd be huge. Don't say that out loud to Fauci. He'll think it's a real proposal. And here's another example of the technology. China is using drones to fight fires. Each of these drones has a fire hose going up to it that it's carrying. It goes up to it and it sprays out. That's them coming out of the charging station. They can self-fly into a charging station and then go up and blast fire from the ground. So I just want to show you guys an example that some drones, it's not all scary. You could use them. In fact, here's the tweet originally said, Chinese firefighters here using drone vehicles to control fires. If only Gavin Newsom had invested in these instead of investing in California in diversity, equity, and inclusion, more lives and property may have been saved. Think about this. You don't have to risk a firefighter up in that hill way up there running through fiery brush. You could send 10,000 drones from the recharging station, spray it all down instead of doing those big helicopter drops from the ocean. Boom, they go out, they come back, they recharge and refill. Boom, another army of 10,000 go out. Fire out. They could micro-target fires. No humans at risk. This technology is amazing. Okay, now here's Tucker Carlson with an update on drones that I did not know about.
An intel person told me that this person believed that they were in fact Chinese, and that a Chinese satellite went down, was visible to the naked eye. There were news stories about it. It evaporated, it burned up, and that this person told me that was taken down by the U.S. government. That was a command and control satellite for these drones.
Oh,
and the
wow.
belief was the Chinese government was sending the following message: we're moving on Taiwan and maybe other things.
Wow.
You can't do anything about it.
Okay, so that's the first I heard about that intel, that all of those drones could be controlled by one Chinese satellite that they said flamed out and fell down and was disintegrated in our atmosphere. So that could disrupt their drones. I hope you guys can see the future of warfare, satellites and drones and AI. Okay, now here's another cool use, a positive note on using a drone. This is from Ring, and it's got a drone that hovers around your house and carries a camera. So it's a mobile camera instead of being fixed to a wall. And then when it needs more power, it just goes back to its recharging station. But it can guard your home while you're gone. It can fly to any room, look at any surface, and all these cameras with Ring are connected to your device. So you could actually check in on your kids, check in on your pets, check in on the mail delivery. So this is a consumer-grade drone that you can use in your house for security. That's good news. I saw this one on the Benny Johnson channel, but that's the president's motorcade driving in to his inauguration. Look at the little antennas on those vehicles, those black vehicles, and there's domes on the back of those vehicles. Those are anti-drone devices. Those are drone jamming signals, so that if someone tried to fly a drone, 10,000 drones, into this motorcade and tried to suicide bomb one of the president's cars, that signal allegedly would be jammed. There may be other defense measures on that vehicle, like I would think they'd have a blowout of some kind of discharge that can make a drone strike it instead of the vehicle in an emergency. But that just goes to show that is anti-drone technology, because right now, Trump's greatest threat is not an assassin's bullet from a rifle. It is a drone that can fly in going 80 miles an hour with C4 on it, or 10,000 drones coming in. So you need mass signal jammers to a higher form of tech, and you hope you can manage their signal. There's Melania getting out there, going into Air Force One. I'm just trying to show you guys another positive development is that we're not just victims of drones. We have active technology on the president's motorcade already addressing it, and we need to continue to develop further in this technology. What do you guys think? Trump is going to spill the beans on what drones are. His Susie Wiles, he just now said, tell them what they are. The drones that were all over Boston, are they indeed from China, or are they ours? I got to take a guess. What do I think? I still think they're ours. I think if they were China, that'd be too embarrassing. I think we'd be red alert mode if they were China. That's the only reason why I would guess that they're ours. But I don't know. You tell me in the comments below. What do you think the drones are? Hey, if you guys want to watch another video, there's one coming up right here. That really helps us out a lot. And if you want to subscribe, look right there and ring that bell and we'll send you a notification. I'm Doug in exile.